Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shenanigans. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Fabulous.
Grand.
Wonderful, wonderful. Rob, are you playing from Las Vegas?
Where Curry goes, Las Vegas is.
I see what we're in for today. And how about you, Bryan? How is the life?
Doing great. Yeah. I don't know. SF is still on lockdown, I guess, but that's California for you. So
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And what about you, James? Down under, I hear things are a little bit better.
Everything's been pretty normal. Like if there's one case, an area goes on lockdown for a week, then that area goes on removes lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly actually at the hotels where we've got people coming in from overseas in quarantine. That's where you get breakouts from. Mainly like staff members who the quarantine protocols have broken through. Yeah. And with my Crusader King 3 mod, I'm up to 640 people who are using it. Yeah, so I'm happy people are using it.
Yeah, that's actually quite a few people.
A lot more than my mod for Half Minute Hero.
Not familiar with that.
Oh, don't worry. It's just an old game.
I see.
Rob and Bryan have switched on the overlay.
Oh my god. Thank God Zoom updated technology so we can drag and drop people.
All right.
Sometimes. Thank you for that. Excellent.
Well, that's it for me. Other than, we keep chugging along. I can be a little more lazy.
That's it for you?
Yeah. Well, okay, almost.
There's a lot of stuff going on down under.
Okay, what do you want me to cover?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I want to hear about how the women glow and the men plunder.
No, I was chundering. You see, I couldn't pay attention.
So,
Wait, what was that noise?
What was it?
Kookaburra's outside.
No, it wasn't kookaburras. Did you hear that thunder?
Well, I better take cover.
All right.
Just
All
to be
right.
safe.
Welcome to Shenanigans, everybody. Our party is going to start in the tavern today, which is got 30 people in it. Desmond's behind the bar, Borch is in the kitchen. There's a whole posse of folks all over the place. Most of them look pretty badly wounded, like they've just recently come back from some sort of death-defying mission and have managed to scrape by and are just here kicking back and relaxing because it takes weeks to heal to full HP in 2nd edition. And so they're all resting and relaxing. And the three of you are where? Where are you guys? You right
Where
there?
are we, Curry?
Where are you sitting?
Curry is where he always is, no matter where he goes. Center stage.
He's on the stage.
Is he in the center of the room or is he on the stage?
And that is where he is.
All right, Curry, you are on the stage then.
I'm watching then.
What's going on the stage? Anything?
Curry will sing.
What do you sing, my dear friend?
You know what? I had something earlier, but now it's escaping me.
Okay.
So he'll just let's see. What would be a good Curry song here? Let's see. Chat, suggest me a good song for Curry.
I'm from the land down under. Well, under dark. I don't.
Didn't Borscht kill him? Oh no, and that's my song then. Of course, you silly person. Do you honestly think that Curry could die? No. Because I'm too sexy for the grave, too sexy for the grave, so sexy it hurts.
And as Corey starts singing about how he's too sexy for the grave, there comes a rumbling. The entire earth begins to shake and toss and turn. Mugs are spilled, ale spills onto the floor, dishes clatter off the table and crash on the ground. Everyone looks around. Some people hide under tables. Desmond grabs the bar to try and stable the entire building with the sheer force of will. And after maybe 15 seconds or so, the shaking passes.
Don't worry, everyone. That just always naturally happens when these hips start shaking.
There's some soft chuckling that sort of echoes through the bar.
I look at the window to see if there's anything coming out from there or something. Maybe there could be like a big like a dinosaur charging at us, right? Because that could be.
That's interesting that you mentioned dinosaur, because you look out the window and at first everything seems fine, but then you feel like a small tremble again. You know, like the ground shakes near you, and there's another small tremble, and a bead of sweat rolls way down your hand. And there's another large tremble, and another bead of sweat happens to roll down a different way, because chaos theory tells you that even if the circumstances are the same, the small differences in the exact options are going to cause, beads of sweat to go in different directions. And then there's another step.
I know this. A glass of water, please.
Here you go.
Kenny, do you have any anti-dinosaur strategies?
Yeah. Get killed off early on, then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the episode.
How about any tactics for taking out dinosaurs?
Oh, be faster than the person next to you when you're running away.
What about all right, I think we've got to use our available assets here. And I think that means we've got a distraction. And then I point to that guy.
Curry sets the glass of water on the table and watches it.
It does indeed rumble every few seconds. There's like a ripple that forms in the middle and dissipates to the outside.
Don't worry, everyone. Plot armor.
I don't know. We've only got 3 episodes left.
And that is when you see its large skeletal head come into frame. It's got huge, sharp teeth, a skull big enough to put an entire person in. It is a huge skeletal Tyrannosaurus Rex that you see walking over the houses. It lets out a silent scream, but you can see the rooftops near it begin to rumble. Birds take flight, dust fall down from rafters. One of its giant skeletal legs, maybe like 15 feet tall, comes up and just smashes a building. You can hear the screams of the people outside, yet the dinosaur makes no noise.
Hey, Desmond, what is that thing?
Desmond comes over, pokes his head out the window, and goes, "Oh my god, my only weakness."
It looks like a dragon without all the outsides.
It's a Draco Rex. Borsch, come on, we gotta get Lizzie and Layla. We gotta get out of here. And Desmond and Borsch flee through the back door and run out down the streets.
Draco
That's
Rex.
not a good sign. I'm gonna call out the window. I know what they say, but you can be too thin.
The dinosaur head opens up in a scream again. It probably didn't even hear you. It's too busy smashing nearby buildings. And then something catches its attention. It moves more quickly now, but through an alley, getting low to the ground, its large skeletal tail whipping back and forth, knocking over chimneys, and it ends up running down like out of frame because the wall of the tavern gets in the way, crashing through the streets towards the main avenues. You can hear the screams of the people in town as the dinosaur crushes the buildings in Berkshire.
All right, everyone, that was an establishing shot. We probably have a few minutes to plan before it threatens us directly.
I've been trying to plan here. I would say I was the one who
Can we argue about who's planning what and just do something?
Well, first, there's some questions here. It was it was described as a T-Rex, but it was also stomping on buildings. So can we get an adjusted sense of scale? Because a typical T-Rex wouldn't be able to stomp a building. It's only about 2 stories high-ish. So I'm guessing this one is a bit bigger than normal.
What do you mean the T-Rex is only 2 stories tall? Get your dinosaur facts right.
Oh, we're using Jurassic Park scales, are we, Neal? Like raptors are really big and
No.
T-Rexes...
Utah raptors are quite large, yes. I guess T-Rexes are only 20 feet tall, but I think that's like 20 feet at the hip, not 20 feet at the head. You know, because you measure, like horses, you measure to the shoulder. You know, T-Rexes, I think you measure to the hip.
Yeah, I mean, that could take out like some like small like cottages or something, like a 1-story.
Or an outhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means its leg is about, say, 15 feet tall, which is not tall enough to stomp a 2-story building.
Not a 2-story building, but a 1-story building, yes. It weighs 30,000 pounds. Well, maybe when it was alive, but it's, bones now.
All right, you know what? Okay, so it seems like step 1 is that we need to get a giant scale, right? And then we could lead the T-Rex over to that scale and figure out how much it weighs. That way we could know what kind of buildings it could stomp on or not. What do you guys think about that?
I think it can just destroy any building except the temple because they're not constructed well enough. I've got turn undead. I don't think it's going to work.
Perhaps. Wait a second.
You think Indiana Jones? Because clearly that thing belongs in a museum.
That's brilliant, Kenny. That would be the perfect the perfect plot of a villain. You don't make an undead T-Rex. You make a T-Rex that is animated as an animated object, so it can't be turned by the paladins.
I was talking more about its hit dice size and such. I'd have to roll really well to turn it. First it was occurring to me, we should try to lure it to the Desu Metropolitan Museum. But what if that's where it came from? What if some foul necromancer was all, if only I had monster skeletons to animate, to the Desu Metropolitan Museum. Perhaps that should be our first stop. If anyone here knows about dinosaur bones or dragon bones or doesn't call it a Draco Rex.
Why was it his only weakness?
Well, we gotta go to the museum and find out.
Wait, is there a museum?
Of course there's a museum.
Of course, the Desu Metropolitan Museum. It's free on Tuesdays, which is today.
I suppose there is, and it's Tuesday. Why not?
All right. Does the coast look clear? Can we sneak off to the museum?
Well, there's a front door and back door, so which way can we go?
Front door, back door, you can take off. The town is filled with screams and people running, shielding their faces from the terror as a dinosaur crashes through the town. Our party will make their way to the Berkshire, what'd you call it? Something museum? Metropolitan Museum.
Desu Metropolitan Museum.
The Berkshire Metropolitan Museum. Right. Good name there, Rob. Love it. It's just spot on.
Don't worry about all those screams. It's very unfortunate, but there's no way we can stop this thing for another 3.5 hours anyway.
You guys can get to the museum as you see dust kicked up in the distance. You can hear the guards shouting, "Fight it! Fight it!" And then moments later, "Run away! Run away!" You make it to the museum to find the curators all outside, mouths agape, staring in wonder. The front of the museum has been crushed, crumbled, as if something from the museum it burst out itself, sending brick, mortar, thatch, and timber all over the place. There, standing in the atrium, is a gaping hole where once their prized find graced the entryway.
Exactly as I suspected. Or as the fates retconned as soon as I mentioned it. There's no way to know for sure.
Hey guys, why'd you animate the skeleton? Is it like a publicity event for Free
Quick,
Tuesdays?
Into the museum.
Animate it? We didn't animate it. It just started shaking its hips, and then it started moving.
Corey!
That was me. That whole shaking thing.
Did your dancing set it off?
It's hard to say. My dancing set off a lot of things in the past.
Wait. So, Mr. Museum Curator, is that your
Dr. Grant? His name is Dr. Grant.
Dr. Grant?
Yes.
Where did you get this skeleton at some point? This dinosaur.
We dug it up. We found it in a quarry just outside of town. Maybe 5 years past. Took a lot of effort to dig it out. We had to get some clever workers that had small enough hands, lots of child labor to dust off the skeleton in time to get it into the museum. To be honest,
Wait, you don't mean
I'm surprised.
the quarry under the old Indian burial ground, do you?
I mean, that's just an old ghost tale. There's no such thing as an Indian burial ground.
It's actually an old Indian tale.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Couldn't be a ghost tale. Dead men tell no tales.
Well, I want to speak undead. Speak with dead.
Maybe. We've had the skeleton here in this museum for 5 years, and no one's come by to see it. Not once.
I didn't even know it was here.
They're seeing it now.
God, maybe we should have put some money into an advertising budget.
I mean, you had a frickin' dinosaur skeleton. That's like the coolest thing.
It took all of our money to put it up, and then they said we should
let's be
decorate it,
honest,
and there goes our whole
No one
budget.
goes to the anthropology hall. They want to see the dinosaurs.
Dr. Grant taps his foot and looks menacingly at one of his many assistants. I told you.
Then you get a
Dinosaurs
T-Rex, and
before
you make
people?
it fighting another dinosaur.
Well, it's now fighting an entire town. What are you going to do about it?
Wait a second. Kenny, you said something earlier. You said that you can cast a spell, Speak with Dead? You could speak to the dinosaur.
Well, no, it's only beings with language. I don't think dinosaurs have language skills.
It's clearly trying to yell out so somebody can hear it.
Well, it's going to be roar, 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 roar.
Actually, it's not. It was
roar,
being
roar, roar.
silent, if I remember.
That's true. It has opened its mouth in a silent scream.
Yeah, I mean, I could. Okay, Speak with Dead would allow me to speak with like humanoids or other sentient beings. It's not speak with animals. I think if I had both spells cast at the same time, it'd work, but.
So we need a druid as well. That's unfortunate. I don't know any druids around here. That would work. Do you think that would work, actually?
Well, no.
You can't speak with that.
You use those
and
spells.
speak with animals.
You would be able to speak with a dead animal. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, to be completely honest, I think I would be more in tune with Dr. Malcolm. Is he here?
Dr. Malcolm? No. He's off in another department right now. He's not very useful. All he does is talk theory. And his shirts are never buttoned. It's wildly unprofessional to have a doctor walking around here with his shirts open like that all the time. I mean, who does he think he is, huh?
Nevertheless, point me to the department of laying sultrily on a couch with your shirt unbuttoned.
The chaos department.
Yes, that sounds
They're doing that
perfect.
Titanic reenactment. It's such a shame. Come with me, I'll show you. And Dr. Grant will lead you by the hands and take you back through the anthropology department to the little-known wild wizard and chaos magic hall, which is still under construction. Perhaps it hasn't been finished because Dr. Malcolm is stretched out on a chaise lounge with a hat kind of tilted forward, while a group of young artists surround him, painting him from many different angles. And he's babbling to them about the chaos. It really comes alive, and you just gotta let the brush flow from your hand. Trust in the chaos to make the perfect strokes. Yes. And if you can't get it right, just try the chest hair one more time. They go in all sorts of directions.
Mind if I do?
He opens his eyes. Corey, it's good to see you again, my friend. What brings you over here after our last encounter?
It's good to see you again, friend Malcolm. We have the exact sort of thing that only you could have predicted, and I'm sure you did, in fact. The dinosaur skeleton has gotten loose.
What?
The dinosaur skeleton has gotten loose. Now,
Surely you must be joking.
I was assured that all the dinosaur skeletons were female. I can't help but wonder if this one is out there looking for a male dinosaur skeleton.
Well, you know, you and I do attract the females, skeletons or otherwise.
Absolutely.
They've always got a bone to pick with us.
Oh yeah. So my idea was if we can scavenge together all the rest of the bones in this museum, we could wire them together into some sort of stop motion, incredibly sexy male dinosaur. And then all of us, but especially you and me, could operate it and lure the dinosaur out of town. But we need 2 other plans to do first before we do that one, because that one is clearly the winner.
He gets up and goes, "Are you kidding me? A stop-motion giant dinosaur? That's too crazy, even for you, Curry. It's never gonna work."
I mean, instead of using this stop motion plan, we could just animate it.
How would you do that?
Undead. I don't animate.
You'll just suggest CGIing it, like creating some sort of
No, we will not.
out of nowhere.
There's nothing fake about this museum, and there's nothing fake about me. I won't put my name on a plan that uses prosthetics or uses enhanced techniques. It's going to be 100% real because everything about my museum is real. And Dr. Grant kindly reminds him that it's not his museum.
So we already have evidence of one skeleton dinosaur being animated. We could use use the same method that animated that skeleton to animate a second one.
My God, he's a genius! How did you animate this first one?
I'm guessing a necromancer high animate monster spell or some high-end thing like that. Because I don't animate undead doesn't have the power to do this.
It's the power of lust, my friends. Clearly,
you're telling me there's a necromancer running around here somewhere, just animating dinosaur skeletons willy-nilly? You know,
well,
wouldn't we have seen him in the museum? Doesn't he have to see the skeleton to animate it? Wouldn't that have to have been part of what was going on? Did anyone, Dr. Grant? Surely you didn't see any.
So it's an inside job?
Everyone turns to Dr. Grant. He gently takes off his hat and goes, "There were some strange folks around today, but none of them were nearby when the dinosaur came to life."
Could that be cast invisibility?
Maybe, but I think animating a skeleton would have somatic components, probably some material ones, definitely some verbal components. I think that would probably break an invisibility spell. I'm sure of it. There was no one animating that skeleton. No one in the temple, in the museum at least. Someone must have cast some sort of far-reaching magic spell to cause this to happen.
Well, can you show me where it is?
Dr. Malcolm, friends,
a magic.
Non-suspicious huddle, please.
Oh, wait. Huddle first, I guess.
Is this huddle not including Dr. Grant? Are you
Not including
excluding
Dr. Grant. I asked for Malcolm.
Right. Yep, so Malcolm comes on over, undoes the last button that was still done near the belt of his pants, lets his shirt hold open entirely, puts his arms around you all. Well, what are we going to do?
Didn't Dr. Grant just 1 scene ago tell us that not a single person had come to see the dinosaur?
I think he
Doesn't
did.
a rampaging dinosaur definitely attract attention? Doesn't it seem like a person who was aggrieved that not one person was coming to see his dinosaur?
But 2
Might have
people saw it
decided-
today.
Well, there it is. That's it. You figured it out.
Now, is it that easy, or is there some sort of shamalama twist?
What, the security computer guy? I mean, abacus guy.
True. This could just seem to be that way, but it's the
Connar?
abacus guy. That postman.
Yeah, that postman with the abacus.
What was his name? Oh yes, Newman.
Oh yeah, but look, I'm going to class detect magic where the display had been.
You're going to cast
Excellent.
Detect Magic where the display had been.
Yeah,
Yes.
just to work out what spells have been cast there.
All
And,
right.
yeah.
It appears that no magic has been cast in this area. There are no residual signs of spells going off. There are no magical presences anywhere. Really, a museum of this caliber should have some like magic alarms on the doors, and they don't even have that. It is dry of magic.
Interesting.
magic. Yeah, I'll relay everything to everyone.
I've got to tell you, I have never seen a magical blacklight turn up in absolute nothing like this. In fact, it makes me wonder, since there's no magic here at all, maybe it wasn't an animation spell. Maybe there were spells keeping the dinosaur from going, holding it in place. Maybe it was already animate, and somebody dispelled the holding, keeping, freezing, sleeping magic.
Would just dispel disrupt, or does it eliminate magic? That's the question. I could see like maybe an anti-magic field. Maybe that would eliminate. But what would dispel?
Well, if there's an anti-magic
an anti-magic field does not demobilize skeletons or undead as such like that. They can't cast spells within it, but they're still walking around exactly like dead people don't. So it is very possible that somebody knew that this was a real live dead skeleton dinosaur that was being held in place by magical wards, and they came in here like some sort of anti-magic Mr. Clean, eliminating all the magic with their anti-magic shell, and the dinosaur was free to go as it pleased.
Or the wiring was somehow mechanical in nature, like some gnome when they wired it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like would an animated creature, even just like walking around, would that leave any residue? I don't know. Even if it was.
Well, the
just here.
spell to animate them would leave residue, so they'd have to be animated beforehand,
No, yes.
like courses.
I just meant like them walking around, right? Like,
No.
Okay.
I don't think it was a gnomish contraption, because as you saw, it was completely functional.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. It wasn't making a sound.
Well,
That's right.
outside
What
of the
if it was a
museum, you
gnomish
can see
contraption that didn't make sounds.
Oh yeah, you're right again.
outside of the museum, you can see a group of town guard hauling some wounded people and a mostly dead person to safety behind some structures, taking some shelter and hurriedly talking amongst themselves.
Nothing we can do about that. That's simply raising the stakes.
Well, maybe so. They did mention like somebody, like some other people who are around this thing. Maybe we could, because like even let's say your theory is true, we would still have to go and find who were the people around this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you describe?
That's true. We could investigate more to pad out the next 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Who were these mysterious people? What did they look like?
They were customers. Never
Describe
seen one
these red
before.
herrings.
They showed up. They wanted to take a look at the geology department. They said they were interested in rock formations.
I pull everyone aside very quickly in a huddle. He's clearly lying. No one has ever asked to see the geology department. Go on.
Well, you know, as the saying goes, geology rocks. It's our most popular exhibit in the entire museum. We got some stalactites, we got stalagmites, we got slate, granite. We even got some sandstone, some shale, some quicklime before it becomes quicklime. Yeah, we've got dirt too. We got 10 different samples of dirt. The halflings keep bringing us different types of rocks and earth and dirt, and we just keep putting in the geology department. Granted, we only get halflings and a couple of gnomes that come by and the occasional passing dwarf, but they don't get the children's discount just because they're short, so it brings in a little money.
Well, just as should come in on Tuesdays.
We should never have given them that Tuesday discount. Oh, people only show up on Tuesdays. But the dwarves, they do buy the beers to go. We discovered that if we sell beer while in the geology department, who cares about the finances of the museum? There's a dinosaur out there.
Yeah, but the people who came in today came in on the Tuesday. So they mustn't have wanted to leave a paper trail.
Wait.
Now, it is my experience that when you go into a museum, they make you leave your backpack and purse and things like that so you don't steal any priceless relics.
That's a brilliant idea.
Oh, you don't do that?
No, we just allow people to carry their own stuff around and things get stolen all the time. I'd never considered that. My God.
Oh, well, heck, I was going to ask if any of them had left a purse or
No.
business card, a matchbook cover.
Look, I don't know anything about investigating dinosaurs, but I do know this one's going to destroy the town if you don't do something about it.
Well,
Don't you have a sword?
We're
Go
well
stab
aware
it.
of the stakes rising.
Yeah. Like we're gonna find the cause of it and stop the cause.
It's just that it's frankly impossible to do for approximately another 3 hours.
Well, wait. Does finding the cause does that help us actually stop it though?
No, but it'll cut out time.
Yes, it'll pad things out. We want to come up with two plans that don't work that way.
Yeah.
Well, but what if us stopping the dinosaur? What if there could be more dinosaurs that are about to show up? Then we wouldn't have. Like,
Well, that sounds like a boring sequels where they have things stronger than the T-Rex.
That's the thing. We could get a.
No, but he's right. We have other exhibits with other bones in them. We haven't even seen them yet.
We could
Mummy.
make a dinosaur, or we could animate a Triceratops and ride it into battle. Maybe we animate a whole bunch of dinosaurs.
Well, I don't know how to do that.
Wins the attack, and then at the end, we join them together after we've been defeated individually,
And make a mega.
Dr.
Dino.
Grant and
A
Dr.
Megasaurus.
Malcolm look at you skeptically. And Dr. Grant says, I'll take you to the bone room where our researchers are painstakingly reconstructing skeletons from the best evidence they can find. Come with me. And
as much as I want to go to the bone room, we should probably go to where you have the fossils.
he waves you into the basement.
The basement, but he just said.
The bone room's in the basement.
I mean, honestly, I thought this was the bone room.
He will take you downstairs, and you can see
The
there's
room where Dr. Malcolm is the bone room, I suppose.
Dr. Malcolm gives you the knowing half-nod wink. As you come down into the basement, you can see a bunch of researchers in burlap lab coats standing around talking in hushed whispers, looking up the stairs as you guys come on down. They open the large metal, like chicken wire gate that blocks out the bone room from the stairway leading up, and wave you in. What's going on up there? We heard crashing noises and then dust came down from the ceiling. We could have sworn we saw the T-Rex moving, but that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it's moving all right. It's eating things, even though it doesn't have a digestive system, which doesn't make sense also.
One of the researchers goes, I have to go know how fast it runs, and hurries up the staircase to go look for it and clock its speed.
I can think of one way to find out, but you do you.
You are left with 2 researchers, Dr. Grant and Dr. Malcolm, and a sort of a long room, not too wide, maybe 15 feet wide, maybe like 45 feet long, with lots of cupboards and shelves all over the place, and then lots of desk space on one side where people are carefully like assembling bones and putting them next to each other. None of these things seem to have been animated yet, but there's a lot of drawers and shelves around here. You don't see any complete skeletons, but there is like a haunch of some sort of creature on a table.
Is my detect magic still going off?
Let's not complete any more skeletons right now.
What's the duration on it?
It's on the screen. 1 turn, so 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're probably in the last round of it though.
So I do I see anything magical in this room?
No magic here.
Okay.
Please don't assemble any more dinosaurs for the moment. Dr. Grant, it's my understanding that dinosaurs and birds, common ancestor, all that stuff, right?
He shrugs. I've never heard that before.
Well,
but you
let's
could be right.
assume that's true.
Okay.
Do you think we could get about 2,000 pounds of grain, some sort of chicken feed, a giant box 50 foot high, put the pile of grain under the box, which we'll prop up with a tree trunk with a rope tied to it, and when the T-Rex goes to start pecking at the grain, whoop, yunk, box dinosaur to go.
I think considering the circumstances, building a 50-foot tall tower with the box on it is probably unlikely to be successful. That's a many-day, probably many-week, or even month-long project. Could be many months.
Yeah, undead things don't eat. They don't need to eat food. So
well, they're eating people.
This would
yeah. Didn't you see that? It was pretty horrifying. They're just like, putting them in their mouth. They just go down, drop out through the rib cage. The dinosaur's like, oh, another one.
Well, I think what the man is saying is that they have a desire to chew, but they don't need to eat. So they're killing things, but the grain might not actually attract them to it. You know, it's more of a compulsion. You know, I'm a doctor of people as well as minds, and I think the young man over there is quite right. He looks like he knows how to put these things together. We should listen to him.
Well, maybe to pad out the runtime, we should go investigate these visitors.
Yeah.
I think
Do they leave any clues? Do they say any names? Do they have any catchphrases?
I think they're still in the geology department.
Ooh.
Oh, they're still there, are they?
I suppose. I haven't been paying attention. There's been a dinosaur rampaging around.
Oh, is there?
Your sarcasm is not appreciated. This is a deadly situation. There are real things at stake here.
Yes, the stakes are very high.
Yeah. Like a geology department, we should find out what's going on.
Yes, let's go to geology.
All right.
Look how old these rocks are. These rocks are clearly older than the other rocks.
You'll find out. Oh no, they're the same age as the other rocks because that's when the gods made the world.
You guys arrive, and there, sure enough, are a whole tassel of dwarves and dwarves and halflings, taking a look at this big pile of dirt with some rocks in it. They seem unconcerned about the dinosaur going on.
Are we sure these are dwarves and halflings and not Miss Terry's 3rd grade class on field trip?
Maybe, I can't tell.
Say hello.
What kind of rocks are there?
PG-13 coming through. Is that going to be a problem for anybody?
Agent what? What are you? They just ignore you and go back to their stuff.
Which ones were they? Which ones are the ones you were talking about?
Do any of you speak Grumbles?
One of the dwarves turns to you. You making a crack about me being a dwarf, are you? Saying I speak in grumbles? Well, it's all right.
No,
You shouldn't expect
one.
perfection from geologists. We all have our faults.
Oh.
Are they the ones? Yeah, I guess they are the only ones here.
We don't have time for these geology jokes. We've got a lot of plates spinning right now. So, this whole group here, you went through the dinosaur hall, right?
What? What's that?
The big
The hall with
skeleton?
the dinosaur, the big giant. It looks like a dragon with all the outsides taken off.
I didn't see nothing like that. No, sorry. Just a big white thing sticking up like a column. Pair of columns with toes. Walked right past it. Came on down here. You know why? Because we don't take nothing for granted.
Look, sir, I don't have any quarry with you.
My sediments exactly.
He's good.
So you walked past the skeleton, you didn't even look up at it, right? Got it.
I didn't even know it was a skeleton. We just saw the columns.
Are
What do you mean
any of
the
you
columns?
professional necromancers? Or any kind of mage, to be honest.
I'm not interested in the undead. Unless we're talking about the undead life that comes from the earth itself.
Yeah, are you talking
What?
about oil?
No, we're not talking about oil. We're talking about the bones of the earth. They
Oh.
speak to us, you know.
What are the bones of the earth? Are they
Rocks! Rocks,
Oh.
mate, the rocks!
Are fossils a rock? But no, fossils are rocks, right?
I've never heard of a fossil. What
Wait.
the hell is that?
You speak to them. Maybe this guy knows speak with dead as well, just like you.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, okay. Fossils are the rocky imprint of. Well, it's more complicated. There's top of rock that formed from a skeleton of a living creature.
Look, I don't need a lesson in things I don't care about. What are you all on about, huh? Why are you interrupting our examination of this igneous bliss?
Because the dinosaur skeleton came to life and is killing people.
My God, that's
The
terrible.
stakes are rising every
Ah.
moment.
I'm sure someone will take care of it. We've got more important things to do.
What are you working on here anyway?
Well, we're geologists, don't you know? We've come to learn how we can be outstanding in our field.
Oh my, that's the that's actually the motto to where I work. They think it's a great pun, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so corny.
It's amazing, you mean?
Look,
That's the
I'm
word.
not trying to pick a fight.
Then what do you want from us, lad?
Well, you were the last ones to see the dinosaur when it was a display and not a rampaging threat.
Uh-huh. And what do you want me to do about it? You want me to testify in a court of law about what I saw?
Anything?
Sure.
If just was wondering if any of you saw anything, if anybody among you was, you know, animating the literal bones of the earth.
No. We were just whetting our appetite. He looks around waiting for
Tell
someone
me more
to...
about that.
Our appetite?
Well, okay, I don't get
It's
that
a
one.
group of minerals rich in phosphorus and iron, you fools! Don't you know anything? God.
I just wasn't sure if that was a whetstone joke or if you were like chewing on the bones.
Talking to you guys is like studying volcanoes. It can be tough. Tough.
Okay, I know that's something, but I don't know what it is.
It's rockified volcanic ash. Oh my god. See everyone. This is a great example why geologists are superior scientists to all others. We get it. We understand how it is that geology works. We get the puns. We're much smarter than the rest of it. What do you all even study, huh? He looks at Corey. You study beer? Is that it? Look at that belly on you.
I study lust.
Oh, no wonder you're into the big bones then. Maybe it was your lust for bones that got this thing going. You ever think about that, huh? Maybe it's your fault it's risen.
We weren't here when it rose up.
Trust me, I've been the cause of a lot of things rising. But
well
not this
then,
one.
how do you know it wasn't you?
We're in Shenanigans at the time.
So?
Yeah.
You think magic cares about where you are?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
yes, actually, that's why the range is an important factor on every spell.
Well,
Yeah,
what's
that's
the
why I
range
did
on your allure, huh? Is it larger? Is it long enough to reach the museum?
But I've been here for quite a while, and the dinosaur bones have remained vociferously unrisen.
You're saying it took 5 years for them to rise?
All you guys talking about this
It doesn't take anything 5 years to rise when Kuri's around.
I mean, clearly these remains though have risen. So
Look, we don't know nothing about your dinosaurs. We don't particularly care. We're just here to get to the bottom of what these rocks are doing here. Well, that's not true. We know what they're doing. We're here to get to the bottom of how these rocks came to be and how we can name them, quantify them, identify them, and use them.
I've just got one last question for you. That whole dwarves with a Scottish accent thing, is that a World of Warcraft thing, or is it a Rhys Davies from Lord of the Rings thing?
Sadly, it's just the expectation that's been perpetuated by people for generations. It's a real shame. I've never really liked the Scottish dwarf bit. I've always preferred a more dramatic dwarf, but it's what the people want, and you gotta give it to them every now and then. We hate it. Gods, do we hate it.
You don't have to give it to them. You can be you. You can step forth like a bearded butterfly shedding his cocoon to become
No, you don't get it, lad.
you were always meant to be. And to hell with the rest of them.
We're like metamorphic rock. We're shaped by the pressure people put on us.
Oh, that's sad.
All right then. Gilray always respects choices. Just so lucky that so many of them are beneficial for Gilray.
Well, they don't seem to be the ones animating a dinosaur bones.
But that did take us through to our first break. And honestly, we got out of Shenanigans, did an awful lot, so that's pretty impressive. I mean, normally we're just walking out when it's time for the first break.
As you guys walk out of the bone room up into the main museum section, those guards that had pulled away the wounded people are gone, and you see Borscht Thunderbowels stumbling through the streets, a huge gaping hole across his belly, using one hand to keep his innards in, the other hand dragging an axe behind him as he stumbles along the road. But we will come back to Borscht Thunderbowels and the others on the other side of our break.